So using the SG834 unit, so what we have here is some indications. As you'll notice, even though the machine is plugged in at the moment from the mains, there's still no indicator lights burning. These are the four important indications for the machine to work. There's a mains high. That would there would be a light on next to it if the mains was above 260 volt, preventing the machine from switching on. With mains low, there would have been a light next to the unit, to the writing, indicating that your mains is below 210 volts. That's just to protect the unit. Reverse polarity, if there was a light burning next to that one, that would typically indicate that your live and neutral in your mains was turned around. Then you should open your plug or check your extension lead. You'll find that the live and neutral is turned around. So if I plug the unit back in, the fourth one, you'll notice earth OK. So that is your most important one. That's why the unit isn't switched on at the moment. If you have a look, here's the earth clamp. The moment I connect it to a proper earth, the whole unit comes to life. There's now 3 more lights above that one, and they will also burn, indicating if one of those 3 was the problem. So the unit must be earthed properly before anything will start to happen. This is a safety feature for yourself and the instrument to protect both. Then if we have a look at the rest of the instrument, we've got an emergency cutout that will switch the unit off and discharge the cable and the instrument. You can also use it as a lockout so that nobody can use the machine without your permission. Switch it off. You can see the auxiliaries start back up again. There's also a cutout in the selector switch knob. So you'll see when I pull it out, the light goes off. That's just to ensure you can't operate the unit with all the selectors being in their proper positions. So after the emergency stop, we have our auxiliary buttons. We'll get to them now. We've got our indicating meters. One is a kV meter from 0 to 34 kV, the output of the unit, and a milliamps meter, which is from 0 to 20 milliamps. And 20 milliamps is where the unit will typically trip out, indicating there is a fault. No, it's not necessary to further test the cable. Then we've got our voltage level, the variac. This will increase the voltage from 0 all the way up to your selected voltage on your selector switch, which will be a 0 to 34 kV test mode, a proof mode, to test if your cable is faulty or not. You'll also have 3 surge selections, 8.5, 17 kV and 34 kV. So this is where you will select the mode and functions. Test and locate fault, basically. Test for proof, locate fault for surge. So if we start a test to explain to you how the proof test works, the proof test has 3 major functions. The first one is to see if your cable is faulty. I've got a test box set up there. So what we are going to do is I'm going to test this cable at 5 kV. Phase by phase. With this selection, you'll see if the voltage, firstly, if the cable is faulty. Secondly, how the cable is faulty, meaning which phase, after testing one by one. And thirdly, it's going to indicate to you what voltage to surge the cable at what voltage the fault breaks down. This is a very important part because that will help you select the correct surge position. Yes, if the cable fails at 5 kV, this selection here, 8.5, will then work with your variac from 0 volt to 8.5 kV. And the same with the 17 kV, it will go from 0 to 17 kV on your voltage selector. And 34 kV, 0 to 34. So why use a specific one and not just any one? Because 5 kV will be in any one of these 3 selections. The reason for that is the voltage is purely there to create the flashover on your cable. Meaning, in the industry, they have made a standard where they discovered 1 kV can jump 1 millimeter. Meaning, if you've got a 10 millimeter gap in your cable to the fault, you will need 10 kV to jump from the one side to the other side. If you put on 5 kV, it will not arc over and show you your fault. So you will have to use while testing the cable, you'll discover at what voltage the cable fails. Why it is important, you would always want to use the lowest one of the 3. If your cable fails at 5 kV, you would want to use the lowest selection where the 5 kV can be found. If you had a fault at 10 kV, for example, you would not have used the 8.5, but you will use the 17, not the 34, even though 10 kV is at both of them. The reason for that is, if you have a fault at 5 kV, then in this selection, you'll have 0 volts there when you switch on the unit, and you'll have 8.5 kV where it is open to the max. And this is the important part. Note that you are using the whole variac. 5 kV, for example, would be there. By using the whole variac, it means you are using your complete capacitor. You are using the capacitor to its full capacity. The voltage is just there to arc the gap. The joules, and in this instrument, it's where the 800 comes from. It's an 800 joule capacitor. So if you use 5 kV in the 8.5 selection and open your variac up max, you will have 5 kV at, say, 700 joules. But if you started by using the instrument in the 17 kV selection, you would not have opened your variac completely. That would have been your 0 position, 0 volt, and you would find 17 kV at the max, meaning 5 kV will only be at about 40% of your variac, meaning you are only going to use 40% of your 800 joules. So you'll only have about 300 joules at 5 kV, which will make the sound of the flashover a lot softer. So if you use the 8.5, you'll have more joules. You'll have 5 kV, but at 700 joules. So let's test this cable. What I've got here is I've just got a cable, and at the moment we can even take the fault out completely to see how the cable reacts without a fault on the phase. So what I do is I select the proof or test function. I close my variac completely. I switch on the unit. Now I switch HD on, important to close the variac, because if the variac is not in the 0 position, the unit won't switch on. If it's in the closed position, the unit will start up. Now, while it is in the proof position, you don't have to pay any attention to the orange buttons. They are at this stage doing nothing. All we are interested in is the kV and milliamp meter, which both of them works in the proof mode. So now we can carry on by increasing the voltage to 5 kV. There we can see 3 kV, 4 kV, 5 kV. So the cable is holding 5 kV and there's 0 current flow. You can now, just to make sure there is absolutely no current flow, press the divide by 10 button, meaning when I press it, it would times 10 the reading. So we now know 100% that there is 0 current flow, because even when timing that reading by 10, we still get no indication. So we close the variac and we switch off our unit. Make sure it goes to 0. Discharge with your discharge rod. Resistor first. Earth next. And now let's simulate a fault. So say I've moved phases now. What I'm going to do is I'm literally creating a fault between the two phases. They are not touching one another, but I'm creating an air gap that will make a high resistance fault. Now, we've seen the phase with no fault. Oh, we stay in the proof mode, sorry. We switch on the unit and we test the faulty phase. Increase to 3 kV. And there we could see, not only, let me do it again for us. You'll see the voltage climbs, but before I get to 5 kV, the cable starts drawing current, indicating that it's faulty. And the machine switches itself off the moment it draws more than 20 milliamps, because there's no need to do any further tests. So there, I can go up. kV, important to look where it flashes over now. 4. So at 4 kV, that means that phase is faulty, and you will need 4 kV to put onto the cable for a breakdown to occur. So now what we do, close the variac. We have a look at our selections. The lowest one possible is 8.5 kV. So I pull it up, switch over, and now we can start locating the fault. We know it is faulty, and we know the breakdown voltage is 4 kV. So we switch on our unit, HD on. Only now these buttons come into play. What you've got here, you've got a proof test again, but this proof test is just for a quick turn up to see where your cable fails. For example, if you did not have a proper look at the voltage when you were in your test selection. So now I can go up. There I can see it's breaking off. And I switch over to my pulse mode. Now we'll have a constant breakdown on our fault. Also have a timer where you can select the frequency of the pulse. It goes from 1 to 12 seconds more or less. And that's dependent of yourself, where you would want to use your machine. Okay, so let's switch off. And yeah, that is the SG834.